Your little light. There was a time when your world was small enough to be bright. It did not need permission to hope. You did not calculate whether dreams were realistic. You simply imagined, and that was enough. You believed you would grow up and do something meaningful, something brave, something that made your heart feel alive. You spoke freely. You laughed without editing yourself. You asked questions without fear of sounding foolish. That was your little light. But somewhere along the way, it began to dim, not in one moment, but slowly, almost unnoticeably. You started learning rules before dreams. You started hearing "be realistic," more than "what if." You started measuring yourself against people who seemed further ahead. You started replacing curiosity with caution. And life did what life often does, it added. Wait. Responsibility arrived early. Expectations arrived louder. Failure became something to avoid rather than something to learn from. You stopped trying things that didn't guarantee safety. You stopped speaking about dreams that didn't sound practical. Not because you stopped believing, but because you started protecting yourself. Years passed, and the child who once saw possibility everywhere became an adult who sees limitation first. Not out of weakness, but out of experience. Life taught you that not everything works out, and in response, you began to shrink what you allowed yourself to hope for. Still, the strange truth is this: that light did not disappear. It only got buried. Under fatigue, under comparison, under disappointment, under the constant pressure to prove your worth instead of simply living it. And now, sometimes, you feel it in quiet moments, when a song hits you too deeply, when you watch a child laugh without restraint, when you remember something you once wanted to be stopped talking about. That feeling is not nostalgia, it is recognition, because your little light was never meant to be lost, only covered. The real question is not where it went. The real question is, what convinced you that it was no longer allowed to exist? Growing up does not require abandoning hope. It only tempts you to replace it with certainty. But certainty is often smaller than possibility. And so, the work is not to go back to childhood. It is to recover what childhood knew without effort. That life is still open. That you are still becoming. That your light was never foolish, only unguarded. And perhaps the most honest truth is this: you did not lose your little light because you grew older. You lost it because you stopped protecting it. But it is still there, waiting.